This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa. There we go. Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today? Good morning. This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. You guys are hanging out with us on the BamaCentral YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, all my settings are messed up, Mason. All because I joined the show the other day, which was great. Appreciate Joe De Leon having me on. But all my settings are messed up, and I thought I corrected them all, but we didn't get it all on edit name. We want to put the phone number in there, all up right there so everybody can see us. 205-462-7340, extension ION 800. There we go. Now I can save it. Now it looks right. Now we're ready to go. The music is still going. Here we go. Bop, 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 bop. Let's turn that down so we can hear ourselves. One more time. Oh, well, I probably need to invite Mason into the show properly by, how do I do that? Where's my settings? Oh, my goodness. We're losing everything. Welcome in. Stop that. Yep, invite.
Still working out the kinks.
No. There are no kinks. It's just clumsiness. There we go. Mason, link. Yes, you're right. You do need a link. It's not right there. There it is. Now you got it. Okay. And I can re-add the phone line. Share screen, click on that old Zoom bad boy. If you want to jump in the show today, you can join us at 205-463-7340, extension 800. We'd be happy to bring you in. We're going to have a lot of fun on the Derry Daniel, in the Derry Daniel studio with my friend Mason Woods. Now that he has the link, my fault, not his. And here we go. Let's have a little fun today, Mason. What are we going to talk about? Greg Byrne. Alabama basketball, Iron Bowl of basketball.
Hi, Bob. Game of the millennium.
I was asked yesterday how I feel about it on my confidence level. And I wanted to say like 2 on the radio show. 2 out of 10. But that's not like, okay, I do think Alabama can win.
Yeah.
I'm just not... Is it just apprehension? Is this just how this is how I get every time the Bears play the Packers. I'm like, they're so good. Oh, we just have to play perfect.
I think it's a little bit of that. We have seen Auburn be the best team in college basketball up to this point of the season. I don't think there's really any denying that. The Vanderbilt Commodores made me feel a little better about Alabama's chances, I think.
But Vanderbilt's not bad.
No, but they were able to match the physicality of Auburn without matching them like size-wise at all. And, for a while, at least, Auburn pulled it away at the end. But I think for a while there, Vandy was able to hang with them. And Bama does have some size. I think it bodes well for the Crimson Tide. I think Auburn maybe, isn't quite as tough as we thought they were.
So let's get into it today. I want to start with Greg Byrne. Then we'll play. We got some voicemails from yesterday afternoon and evening. We appreciate everybody who jumped in on the voicemail line. Two voicemails we'll play. We're saving one for Friday, Saturday, probably. Call 205-462-7340, extension 800 if you want to leave your voicemail for the Joe Gaither Show. But we're live right now, so if you call that number, we'll bring you on the show, and we'll talk to you, I think. If we have the technology correct. So that will be an experiment. But we're going to play those voicemails after we talk about Greg Byrne and his idea for court storming. Greg Byrne always trying to be on the forefront of issues. And clearly this has been an issue that has overwhelmingly affected the Alabama Crimson Tide football team.
I do have one thing before we get into the Greg Byrne
conversation. Oh, yeah, please, go.
Tie back to yesterday's show a little bit because we talked about this briefly, and it developed overnight some. Carl Ravik.
Oh, yes.
During Saturday's game, throws out during Wednesday's game, throws out the SEC is 82-82 since January 1st. This league isn't quite as good as everybody thinks it is. It just goes to show you not one team is dominant, and completely just an idiotic comment. We talked about it on the show. Very obviously, the SEC is going to be exactly 500 at the end of the season. because every team plays another SEC team. So you always go 1-1 every game.
Groundbreaking math.
Carl Ravik, Twitter is a buzz during that game and after the game. Obviously, he did not see it for a while following. He tweets yesterday, just landed to see that X is on fire. Simple explanation. Tongue-in-cheek 82-82 record was to illustrate any night either team can win and one will. Clearly very poor execution on my part. It's amazing that Alabama and Auburn have one loss in such a great conference. That is all. I still don't think he knows what he said.
Yeah, that explanation missed it. Now, what I saw was from him that said, after many hours.
Did he finally realize?
After many hours, and friends on Twitter saying that I just need to take the loss. Okay. I'm taking the loss or whatever.
Okay, good for you, Carl. I did not see that. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that now.
What is it? What was exactly?
So it was 4 hours after landing and reading all of the responses. It is overwhelming. I will heed the advice of my friends and take the L. My bad, my mistake. Always appreciate the feedback and grateful for the audience.
That was what he should have said originally.
Yes. And I still don't know that he quite grasps what he said.
Probably not.
I still think he thinks he made a point there.
Because I wanted to illustrate that any night any team can win and does.
Exactly.
Yes. Every night one team wins and one team loses. One team goes in the win column, one team goes in the L column, and they start stacking up, and then you get to 82 and 82.
Yes, I think in his head he was trying to, play the any given day you could beat anybody in this league kind of game, but his justification for that is completely flawed.
His justification should have been Georgia beating Florida, right? Or Georgia beating Kentucky. Yeah, right. There's several little upsets we can lean on this year.
But hey, good on you.
Ole Miss coming into Tuscaloosa.
Sure. Yeah, it's just that really got me going last night. It had me giggling a lot. I love when anybody tries to defend themselves and just can't quite grasp what's happening on the internet. It's always very funny to me. But good on you for taking your L in stride, Carl Ravik. I'm sure you'll be back on another broadcast probably Saturday.
All right. So before we go into this, Greg Byrne, where did he talk about this? Reiterate solution, conference, debate, his suggestion. Where are you? Do you have any sort of context of where the Byrne told ESPN? Okay. All right. So this must have just been a phone interview or a Zoom interview.
Looks like it was a Zoom. Yeah, he was on TV, looks like.
All right. And Greg Byrne, I got a couple perspectives on this, but the first thing, before we even say what his suggestion is, I don't think it's a bad suggestion.
No.
Greg Byrne is talking about court storming and field storming. And from the Alabama football perspective, that was at Vanderbilt, at Tennessee, and at Oklahoma. All three universities stormed the field on you. And let me tell you, I am on the field at Oklahoma waiting for the field to end, and I am asking the Oklahoma fans, why are you doing this? What are you doing? I'm serious. You can say, oh, Joe, you're not a jerk like that. No. I looked at people and said, why are y'all doing this? Oh, it's fun. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I said, you realize this Alabama team is not.
You didn't knock off a national champion.
We've seen the field stormed on this team twice already this year. Oh, we just got to get in the spirit. And they said, I think they said, the last time a field was stormed at Oklahoma, did they say 2002, 2006, somewhere in that range? And I thought to myself, you are a blue blood.
You should try to extend that the last time you stormed a field.
Right.
Yeah, that's a very strange
Oklahoma
attitude.
Football, you're blue blood was my yeah. You guys act like y'all have done this before. Act like you beat real teams before.
Yes.
So this issue is uniquely affecting Alabama right now. Maybe it won't affect Alabama in the future as the football team continues to fall off a cliff and no one cares about it anymore. We're a basketball show now. Just kidding.
Blaspheme.
Right. Greg Byrne suggests that if a field or a court is stormed, that the storming team automatically forfeits the game. So in the cases of Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Oklahoma, those losses automatically get reversed. And I guess I wouldn't say I don't know if he said that they should be wins, but they need to be no contests. It didn't win. Losses reversed to wins reverses to losses.
Now, I think the likelihood of this actually ever
Zero.
happening, zero. Great idea, though. Because I don't know of anything else that is absolutely guaranteed to keep the home team from storming the field. They do not care about how much money has to come out of the university's pocket. That doesn't matter to them. That cost, maybe it gets deferred onto them in ticket prices and things, so they're still going to show up to these games. That is a 100%. Oh, if the crowd knows, we don't get this win if we storm, they will not storm the field.
It's a great idea, but Greg Byrne also gets to throw this idea out into the ether, knowing that my fans, my Alabama fans, are never storming the field, are never storming the court. So I could suggest I could suggest the wildest bleep possible.
The storming team has to fire their head coach.
Yes. right. They got to fire their head coach. They got
donate
to
$1 million to the opposing
the
team.
best player has to transfer over.
You get limited scholarships for the next 4 years.
Alabama picks up Vanderbilt running back Cedric Johnson.
Yeah.
Alabama picks up Tennessee defensive end James Pierce. Yeah. Alabama picks up Oklahoma linebacker Danny Stutzman. Like, all right, we're set. Y'all can storm the field on us. We'll just acquire.
Welcome aboard, gentlemen. Yeah, no, that's fair.
He knows that he's never going to have to deal with this problem.
Yeah, he's kind of talking from his tower here, where he's like, I know this is not something that's going to be even come across my desk, so I can say whatever I want, basically. But it is a good idea.
It's a good. Now I don't know where he was for the Vanderbilt and Tennessee game. I was on the Vanderbilt sidelines, but I really was on the opposite end of the field storming, and I tried to run over to the Alabama tunnel to get the Alabama guys going in, looking kind of sad or whatnot. Obviously. On my video. So I don't really know where Greg Byrne was at Vanderbilt. I didn't make the Knoxville trip. We sent Will Miller instead, got to rotate it out. It's all good. But then I was on the Oklahoma trip. And I tell you, dude, that was a wild minute, because that was a wild 5 minutes, because I'm running onto the field. You remember, they rushed the field before it was zeros on the clock. I'm running onto the field to capture video as the crowd's going on. There's still time on the clock, and everybody's rah, 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 this, that, and the other. And then the PA announcer, please clear the field. The game is not over. Please clear the field. And I'm thinking, where do I go? I'm at the 50. Where do I go? I'm thinking, don't get kicked out of this stadium, Joe. Don't get arrested, any of this like stuff. But I'm also thinking, you got to film this. You're basically, my role with BamaCentral, some of these football games, is YouTube man. Get stuff for the YouTube. Now, I'm writing stuff as well, but like at that point, it's film this stuff for our YouTube, and you can see it on our YouTube. Really, my whole 10 minutes. It was wild. And I'm thinking, where do I go? Well, I think, where the safe place is? The Alabama sideline. And I end up sneaking right on the Alabama sideline, and I'm watching the Alabama players all kind of, all right, what are we about to do? All the Oklahoma fans are just brutal, yelling at Jalen Milroe, yelling at all kinds of these. And all right, long story short, Greg Byrne's on the sideline right there. So he knew, I say he doesn't have to deal with this. He doesn't have to deal with it as far as our guys got to pay, our university has to pay. But we've talked about it before, Mason, how much it's insinuated that lots of money and lots of equipment was stolen off the sidelines 2 years ago when Alabama lost to Tennessee, that they stole. Those fans destroyed iPads, stole iPads, destroyed helmets, stealing helmets. So it is something that Greg has to deal with. I want to be fair. It's just he doesn't have to deal with it from my program might lose us $100,000.
And I think that's kind of the hidden cost of the storm, or the field storming, that people don't really, people kind of fail to acknowledge. They talk about, everybody will bring up, the safety risk. And yes, it is a massive safety risk. People get trampled in these things constantly, but then it's always met with who cares? Storm the field. It's fun. Sure. But the destruction of property and equipment, and, the theft of equipment and property and things football programs cannot afford sometimes. Alabama obviously probably can, But for a lot of other people, you can't necessarily afford to lose $50,000 worth of equipment on a given weekend. Like that's a giant cost. It's not just like, oh, we'll go ask Jimmy Rain to sign us a check. We'll go get us some new Nike equipment. It's not that simple. So yeah, it is not only a massive safety thing, obviously, which can lead to all kinds of issues on the university's front. But yeah, it's a huge monetary thing.
We're sitting there in the end zone as the clock's running down at Oklahoma.
You see somebody running some boomer sooner with a Bama helmet on.
No. Well, they learned their lessons. The Alabama athletic department and football program, equipment staff, they learned their lesson. They are rolling. They got these cases, like massive cases, huge cases with wheels on them. I guess you pop open the case and it's just full of equipment. And as the time is going down, these equipment managers are just rolling these cases off the field, like through the end zone into the locker room beforehand, because they know what's about to happen. Like, it was not a surprise. It was a surprise to me, but it was not a surprise as it was happening, because the Oklahoma fans just started. 5 minutes left in the game. We are just coming. It was, to your point about danger, I don't really see myself as, I'm going to go fight someone as that type. I really don't. But in that moment, I flipped, I had the switch on. I will punch that. I will lose my brain on somebody just to make sure that nothing else happens.
Yeah. You get in a situation like that, that's kind of the attitude you have to have.
Maybe think about Jermaine Burton. And I know we all didn't like what happened with him at Tennessee, and obviously that wasn't a pretty sight, him shoving that girl.
It has been blown out of proportion a bit by a lot of people on the internet. Many of his detractors who like to say, well, you remember when he punched that girl in the face after 10? It's like, that was never what happened. He gave her a firm shove. He shouldn't have done that probably, but also,
like, if you've never been down there, when that's happening.
And man, he just played football for 4 hours and got his ass kicked.
Yeah. In the Oklahoma setting, the people that I was around could tell I'm filming. Mm-hmm. They could tell, you're media of some sort. I've got a little lanyard, whatever. I'm dressed a lot nicer than the everybody. Okay, they could tell. But even still, you get bumped, you get pushed, you get shoved and whatnot. Nah, that's a dangerous situation.
I mean, all it takes is that one person to fall down, somebody walks over, and then it just snowballs from there. And next thing you know, we've got 25 people critically injured because everybody decided they wanted to storm the field.
So I don't think Greg Burns is going to have his way on this suggestion, but it is a good suggestion. I mean, you do have to, you got to figure it out.
If it were to, like, I can't even imagine the wrench that would throw into the college football playoff if a team or if a game was deemed a no contest due to a court storming, a field storming. Are we sitting here in the committee saying, well, I mean, they did technically beat them, but like it didn't count, so I don't know. That would be disastrous.
Are the Alabama fans sitting there saying that game against Oklahoma didn't count, right? The game against Vanderbilt didn't count. Tennessee didn't count. So we're 9-0.
Yeah.
We're not 12-0. We're 9-0. 9-0 going into. Come on, baby. I know we didn't make the SEC championship, but you can't leave. You can't leave an undefeated SEC team out of the playoff.
Yeah, that would be rich.
But Vanderbilt had an idea.
I like this idea too. It's a little cheesy, but I like it.
It's very Vanderbilt.
Yes, it is. That's a great way to put it.
It's very we're Vanderbilt, and we just want everybody to have fun. Because this has cost Vanderbilt a lot of money. Vanderbilt rushed the field against Alabama, so that's $100,000, right? Rushed the court against Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. That's offense number 2. I think that's $250,000. And then they rushed the court again after beating Kentucky. So I'm pretty sure that was $500,000. So that's 250 is $750, $850,000 that these fans have cost the University of Vanderbilt. And they said, we don't want to be dealing with this anymore. We don't want to be. We can't afford this. We're Vanderbilt can't.
Meeting of the minds.
Vanderbilt can't afford it. You can't afford it. Probably. But Vanderbilt's very what I like about Vanderbilt. without doing too much digging, this is just a perception, so I'll just say it. My perception is they are very smart with their money. They want to and use it over here for this building facility. Don't overextend themselves. So if you got a line item that's $850K that they didn't plan for, they said that's a problem.
Yeah, it's like they just kind of gatekeep everything in Vanderbilt. It's like,
yes,
they don't let anybody in, but once you're in, it's like, yeah, no, we have all this.
Right, I agree. So you got Vanderbilt, who is last week made an announcement. We're going to invite you on the floor for wins, but instead we're going to basically put a countdown clock up. If we win, it's going to be 2 minutes, 1 minute. If we win, you are going to be allowed on the floor in Memorial Gymnasium after the 1 minute clock expires. And during the 1 minute clock, you're getting your handshakes. The visiting team's getting off the floor. Their equipment staff's getting all their stuff up, and everybody is leaving all hunky dory. Nobody is getting into fan interacting with people and coach and player. And then the fans get on the floor and they can go rah, 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 go Vanderbilt and dance on the floor and get their stuff. Because look, that's all these fans want. They just want the selfie.
Out there with their video.
Exactly. They just want the selfies of rah, rah, rah. We beat Vandy. We beat Tennessee, Kentucky, whoever. Mm-hmm. So you get the countdown clock. We clear the personnel off the floor. Everybody who wants their selfies and wants to do their little 2-minute dance can do so, and nobody gets fined.
I think it's a really good idea. I am curious to see in practice, in a genuine, like, big time major upset, say Vanderbilt were to take down a top 5 team, in Memorial Gymnasium again, like they did to Tennessee, I'd be interested to see if this actually worked, because the court storming is a very, like, it's not a meditated thing. These people just run out on there at, kind of on a whim. Oh, clock strikes 0, we're on. So I don't know that many of them are going to have the wherewithal to actually pause for that minute. But if they do, I think it will probably stop a good portion of them from even going on the court at all, because they'll just sit there and be like, oh, I ain't waiting a minute for this. We won. Let's get out of here.
Exactly.
So that, if you can actually get them to respect the minute, I think it's a fantastic idea, because it will limit the number of people that are storming the court, and it also obviously keeps the players and coaches and equipment staff and everything safe. We just got to see if they respect the minute or 2 minutes, whatever it is.
I think that's your biggest hurdle.
Yeah,
because it is such an emotional moment. If let's go to
especially if it's a buzzer beater or something, like,
to the Alabama football game, the way that played out. I mean, Vandy's taking a knee. I think you would have got the kids to wait the minute, because it wasn't a last second victory. I think there's going to be your biggest problem. Yeah. The last minute emotional flip of, we were going to lose, but now we won. Or
all it takes is one guy to run out there, and then here comes everyone else. Yeah, it's that's certainly the hurdle, but I like this idea.
I think it's a strong idea.
I think it's by far the most creative solution anyone has come up with to addressing this issue.
Now, at Georgia, what they've got going on, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Georgia, they either beat Kentucky or Florida. I get it confused. But they beat one of the teams at home, and they rushed the floor, and the University of Georgia paid the fine, this, that, and the other. Well, the next game, the administration said, if you don't rush the floor, we'll take a portion of the fine money and put it into fan experience, student experience. Yeah. We'll put it into, like, T-shirts, or put it into, like, giveaways, or put it into, student activities on campus.
That's good too. I like that. I don't know that you can really rationalize with people. There's a lot of dots to connect there. Where people
if we don't rush the floor,
then they do this, and then they do that, and then maybe I get a T-shirt in a few weeks, and it's like, that's a lot to ask people to consider right there. I think the Vanderbilt thing is a little quicker, and it's like, I see a big 1.5-minute countdown on the big screen up there. I can just wait. But it's it's a creative idea.
So you need to pay it for this coming Saturday, as the students are. I bet you they will, because they did it last year. Coach Oates and all the players had donuts for all the fans going into game day. I'd imagine they'll do something similar this year. But that's how you take the fine money. We'll roll it into Papa John's money.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's got Papa John's at the game. Everybody's got Dunkin' Donut, whatever, Krispy
we're
Kreme.
doing some new hard hats this year. That's what they need. They need to update the hard hats. Maybe get a crimson version.
Update the hard. I like the crimson version.
Maybe a black one.
Do a houndstooth hat.
Be good. Bring us aboard. Bring us aboard. We're just giving you free ideas.
Come on. Alabama needs to make us more into the podcast network.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Okay, so there's your fines. We'll see. Look, I'll tell you this: Alabama will not be rushing the floor on Saturday. Win, lose, or draw against the Auburn Tigers.
What I want to see an opposing team storm a court. Like I want to see, somebody go on the road and storm their court. That's what I want.
The Auburn fans storming the Vanderbilt,
something like that.
Because the Auburn fans were loud on TV. You could hear them. It was not an overt home court advantage for Vanderbilt on Tuesday.
That would be really like something. That's what an opposing team.
We're going to cost you. Because that money gets paid to the losing team.
That's just big brain right there. It's just playing 4D chess.
That's right. Mason, why don't we listen to some of these voicemails, and then we'll talk about Alabama basketball. We got a couple voicemails from yesterday. We appreciate everybody who's calling and using the voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can hear your voice on the show, and here were two calls from yesterday.
Hey, I just wanted to say, Nate Oates is our new Lord Savior. Since our previous Lord Savior, Nick Saban, bailed on us since he couldn't get new players because Chargers weren't working no more, Nate Oates is here to save the day, and I am thankful for him. My only regret is that he did not dip into the NIL money and get future Hall of Famer Bronny James. We should have paid him enough money to keep him from going pro, and he would have got us our first national championship. Roll Tide.
Hello, I am the Auburn fan who called last night. I admit I hate watch your show, but I just have to respond to a few things. You asked for one reason why I don't like Nate Oates. Here are 3 reasons. First, too many threes. The offense is too one-dimensional and predictable. I think good defensive guard play will stifle your undersized point guard. 2, he can't coach a defense, and we all know defense wins championships. Bama's defense is atrocious, and you guys are basically traffic cones on defense. 3, Nate Oates is too soft. He doesn't hold people accountable. He'd rather hand-hold and, be very nice to his players. Whereas Bruce Pearl actually holds people accountable. You know what I mean? He coaches tough defense. He keeps people honest. Defense wins championships. War Eagle, we're going to win by 15, 20, guaranteed. See ya.
There we go. We had 2 calls yesterday. And actually we had a third, but I'm saving that voicemail for when I'm actually ready to respond to it. But 2 calls yesterday. Appreciate the 2 callers who joined us. 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can call and leave your voicemail. Do you like the Greg Byrne court storming suggestion? Or do you have a better suggestion to stop the court storming? But really this week is all about Alabama and Auburn in the Iron Bowl of basketball. Mason, let's respond to these voicemails after we tell about our friend. We're live in the Derek Daniels studio right here off of McFarland Boulevard. Call Derek and his team, 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Derek and his team would love to talk to you about your car insurance. You need the renter's insurance. Are you moving this summer? Renter's insurance, home, life, auto insurance, everything you need in the insurance realm. Derek Daniel and his team can take care of you. Call them at 205-758-3391 or come visit them just off of McFarland Boulevard past the Tiger Rock and Rustic Rehab right here on the left. You might see our cars in the driveway. Come visit Derek and his team. 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, Mason Woods, which one you want to go with first? The Bronny James lover or the Auburn Tiger supporter?
We can address Bronny. Old Bronald.
I think that was a joke.
Yeah, probably. Bronny's tearing it up in the old G League, for the Southeast Lakers. 13 points a game. Almost 37% from the field.
What's his 3-point percentage? Because that was terrible.
21.
That was like a big minus in his game.
He's averaging 3 turnovers a game. He's
How many minutes?
20. About 27 a game.
Okay, all right, you're playing a lot.
Yeah.
How many assists?
3. He's basically canceling himself out. 3 turnovers, 3 assists a game.
Okay. Oh yeah. I guess that's fine. My Bronny James stuff was rooted in the nepotism.
Yeah.
I think he was appropriately rated as a recruit. He was like a 4-star recruit. I think he was 80, 60. He was between 60 and 80 as far as players in the class. And I think that was about right. You got recruited about right for a 4-star recruit. Obviously, the last name James got a lot more people interested. But let's be like, his finalists were USC, Ohio State, and was it St. Bonaventures? It was some weird team that LeBron's old friend coached. So like, he wasn't flirting with Duke, North Carolina.
Yeah, this wasn't Cooper Flagg. This wasn't AJ DeBansa.
Yeah. Ends up at SC, has a freaking heart attack. Has a heart attack and then becomes a bench player. And people, oh my gosh, I got friends that are, well, it was so overrated. It's like, do you not understand what the average freshman does in college basketball? Alabama has 3 star-level freshmen, and if you just look at their numbers, you think these guys are okay.
Yeah, a lot of them don't even start.
Right. Aiden Sherrill, not really starting. Yeah. Darian's injury, okay. LeBaron's kind of got moved to the bench, but like, freshmen do not impact college basketball that way. So Bronny has his, mid-year. I think he averaged like 4 points a game.
Yeah, he was a decent role player.
Fella should have stayed at school. That's where my contention is.
Absolutely. However,
doesn't matter.
I guess I can't fault LeBron. I mean, if I was in that situation, I'd probably find a way to get my kid on my team too.
I pray that my father would, and I pray that I would do that for my son.
Yeah. I think Bronny, for your own like career sake, maybe you should have been like, "Hey, Dad, I'd like to stay in college a little longer.
1 more year, Dad."
But it's not like LeBron James Jr. will ever be hurting for money in his life. So regardless of if his NBA career pans out, he'll be okay. It was. I thought when this is not even talking about the question, but when he did go to the Lakers and like I saw all the people, oh, this is like some gorgeous, beautiful moment between that was a little ridiculous because it was like, sure, that would have been if it had come naturally, if it had happened organically. Like we all know that LeBron just puppet mastered this to get the Lakers to get Bronny, and then as we see, Bronny is an okay player in the G League. He was never going to be a good player in the NBA.
JD Davison is doing circles around him in the G League. I don't have JD's numbers pulled up, but I know JD has been really crushing it for the Maine Celtics. And like JD's in a bad situation. Like if they could swap, JD might be on the Lakers right now. You're playing in the G League for the Maine Celtics, and
he's averaging 27 points a game, shooting 48% from the field, 32% from 3, 80% free throw shooter.
But he can't get called up because the Celtics are so dang good. Because you got Peyton Pritchard, who's Mr. White Boy. I'm gonna not mess anything up here.
Yeah. I saw JD Davison came across my timeline the other day with a ferocious dunk over somebody. Just reminded me of watching him at Bama and thinking like, oh man, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get it.
Yeah, but the Celtics aren't gonna let him. He's too good for them to let him go.
Yeah.
He's in a bad situation.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be. Maybe he's probably enjoying himself. He just gets to hoop. Probably gets a decent amount. I'm sure he gets paid relatively handsomely.
Yeah, he's probably on a 2-way contract. He's probably making some much better money. All right, number 2. Auburn fan chimes in, and we appreciate. Look, if you're hate watching this show, we love you even more.
Okay, so Alabama, number 10 in the country in 3-point attempted per game, 3-point attempts per game. They are number 139 in the country in 3-point percentage. That sounds pretty bad on the surface, sure. There's only one team that is top 10 in both, so I think that adds a little bit. Every other team, basically in the top 10 of 3-point attempts per game, is way on down the list and percentage as well. North Dakota State is the only one sitting in there at number 2 in both, which is crazy. So good on you, North Dakota State. You mentioned the Alabama, anytime they play strong guards, they can't do anything. According to Ken Palm, Alabama's average defensive rating on their schedule is 4th in the nation. How many games have they lost this year, Joe?
3, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it would stand to reason that if really good guard play would shut Alabama down, they would have a lot more than 3 losses. So that point is null and void here. I'll give you that, maybe you don't like how many 3-pointers they shoot, sure, but it works. And you can't deny that it works. And 45% in the last 4 games.
Oh, yeah. Look at these conference numbers here. This is from our friend, Blake Byler. Blake Byler tabulated Aiden Holloway, Chris Youngblood, Jaron Stevenson, and Mark Sears, pretty much your top 4 3-point shooters on the team. Holloway, in conference play, 50%.
Oh. You going to tell him not to shoot?
I mean, shoot more. I don't care. 19 3-point shot. He had a game where he was at 19 attempts. Dude,
I want 25.
Yes, more. Chris Youngblood.
You're going to make 12 of them?
41.4% for Chris Youngblood last year at USF, 40%. Now back to his 40% track. Jaron Stevenson, 37.9 in conference play.
Yep. Everybody remembers the non-con stretch, but that's not important anymore.
Mark Sears, 37.7. Your top 4 3-point shooters are all averaging over 37%. And it's look, if you only watch Alabama 3 times a year, if you only watch them 3-4 times a year, when they play your team, when they play Auburn, or when they play in the SEC tournament or whatever, you're going to give me the lives by the 3, dies by the 3. Oh, this team shoots too many 3-point shots.
What happened to fundamental basketball?
Oh, my gosh. You don't understand. The first option always is the layup and dunk at the rim.
The 3-point option is option 3.
Yeah, go get fouled. Get to the free throw line. If those options don't happen, then we're looking for a 3-point shot. And people just, because you're taking so many of them, you must be living it. No, it's the pace. The pace is the special sauce. The pace is what negates all your arguments because you're going so fast. You're getting to the rim so many times. Oh, my gosh. Actually, watch this team. You've been playing the same way for 6 bleeping years. When someone looks me in the face and says, well, Joe, if that 3-point shot's going, they're going to win. If it's not going, they're going to lose. I think to myself, you do not understand this game at all. You don't understand this game at all. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, you mentioned pace, and I have this list still pulled up of the top 10 teams in 3-point attempts per game. A lot of overlap between the top 10 teams' pace and adjusted tempo and most 3-point attempts. So that again goes to show you that it is not they take too many threes. It is they just play the game faster than everyone else.
Drives me absolutely nuts.
Just a fundamental misunderstanding of one Mr. Nate Oates.
And it's first year Nate Oates, okay, it's okay not to grasp the system.
Yeah.
Second year Nate Oates, where you're still learning it, it's okay. You didn't grasp the system yet. The system has not changed in 6 bleeping years. It is downhill driving. Kyra Lewis, get your butt downhill.
Yeah.
J.D. Davison, Jaden Shackelford, get your butt downhill to the rim. Javon Quinterly, go finish at the rim. Mark Sears, go finish at the rim. Oh, crap, a lot of things are junked up. I'll kick it out to a 3-point shot.
Yep.
I mean, it has been the same system for 6 years. Like, get your butt to the rim is the system as fast as possible. And, oh, man, if you can have a 7-footer rim rolling and lobbing for the like a
Man, just makes things go.
the system has not changed. And it's just so lazy. They shoot too many threes.
Yeah, like you said, that just that immediately right off the bat. Okay, you don't watch. That's fine.
Drives me nuts. That is. I know I have friends that like to say things to trigger me into emotional responses. That's one of them. That is easily. If you want to press the buttons. Oh my gosh, that's one of them. I had somebody the other day. We were talking about this Alabama-Auburn game, and they were talking about, well, we were talking about the Ole Miss game, and he was talking about offensive rebounds. And I said, yeah, that's a fair point. I think they only had like 3 rebounds that whole game. But I said, but if you don't have those 21 turnovers, and those 21 turnovers become 21 shots, and you take whatever shooting percentage it is, like, you're probably winning that game. It's as simple as not turning the basketball over. Am I just arrogant the way I watch these games because I feel like people can't see what's actually happening?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Nate Oates has tried to hide anything. He's made it pretty clear from day one what his goals were. I mean, I'm pretty sure he laid it out for everybody. Like, here's what we do: we try to get to the rim. If it's not there, we try to get try to get foul shots. If that's not there, we try to get a 3-pointer. I mean, he told us that from day one.
And we're trying to get all of that under by 16 seconds in the shot clock, by 18 seconds.
Whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nate Oates has given us the playbook. Now, obviously, he's not telling us the defensive switches and every wrinkle he has and every lineup and things, but like, he's told us his MO from the day he got hired. And it has not changed in 6 years.
It's going to be a fun Saturday. I'm still
stomach and knots.
Yeah, I don't have any confidence at all going into Saturday. And maybe that's just apprehension. Maybe that's just fanboy apprehension. But my thought is just, man, I hope you don't turn the ball over. Man, I hope you. My real goal, my real dream is for Mark Sears to get Dylan Cardwell and get Janai Broom into foul trouble by getting into the paint and
that would be
getting them off the floor.
I mean, I have to imagine that's a big part of your path to victory is getting the two of them into foul trouble.
Yeah, really. What do you end up putting Grant on Janai? I mean, Janai, what did he do? He ate Grant's lunch last year, didn't he? Okay, Janai Broom game log. Janai Broom game log.
Yeah, I mean, Clint's not. I don't think Clint has the feet to do it.
No, yeah, the speed is kind of the issue to me. The fleet of foot career game log. Let's see.
Though, I mean, all that to say, it's not like Janai Broom's going to make his first attempt down there. He's gonna run one off the front of the rim and then go for his own rebound. So we got a pretty good chance of Cliff getting that board.
Man,
Alabama's going to go down there and just bounce them off.
Oh, that's 2023. So I want 24.
Angel Reese of men's basketball.
Yeah. Lost at home, Alabama won at home and lost on the road. Let me see. Points. Points are at the end of this list. So he scores 25 and 14 last year in Coleman Coliseum. 25 and 14 on 10 of 15 shooting. Whew.
That's a good game.
And then down on the points, he was 24 points, 24.7 rebounds. And they won. That's my biggest issue, defending Janai. Is it going to be, it's not going to be Grant. It's going to be Jarrett.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
6'10", 6'11", Jarrett Stevenson.
Do we know the status of Darian Reed? Not that Darian Reed is going to be on Janai Broom, but
I'm going to guess out. I'm going to continue to guess out. I think you probably aren't going to expect to see Darian Reed back until SEC tournament. Only not because of what he's dealing with, a severe injury.
For the sake of flare-ups.
Yeah. Right. Flare ups, I think, are what your flare ups and bounce backs. Kind of. I think you wouldn't expect to see Darian Reed for another couple of weeks at least.
Yeah. That's going to be something to overcome because his perimeter defense is excellent. Golly.
I would have loved to have had him on Denver Jones.
Yeah. But no, you're right. Jaren, I think Jaren makes me feel pretty okay. That matchup. I think I like what Jaren can do there. He's got the footwork.
Were you
I
with
don't know
me?
that he's quite strong. I don't know that he's, is strong, but he's got
We
the
were
quickness.
together yesterday. Oh my gosh, the days are running so much together. Where we talked about Jaron Stevens' apology for. Oh God, the days are running so much together. I think defensively, he's been one of your better defenders almost all year.
Yeah.
There's a reason he hasn't really ever been bumped from the starting lineup, and I kind of think the defensive end and what he's able to do guarding 3 through 4, 3 through 5 gives Coach Oates a lot of leeway, a lot of comfortability, a lot of yeah.
Yeah, it's just I have one guy that I know that can guard 2 or 3 positions out there. That's got to feel pretty good. Yeah, I think I've not seen anything from Jaren that leads me to believe he can't handle Janai Broom. I think he's matched up well with other big men this year. I think Alabama's, a lot of times, has been their biggest issue has been some guard or other perimeter guy going off for 25, 30 points in a game when you didn't really expect him to.
Denver Jones, what was it, 5 of 7 behind the arc against Vanderbilt? Got to get up in and maybe that's a Chris Youngblood. This is your guy all night long, buddy.
Stay glued to him
till you accept the challenge. Your challenge, should you choose to accept. Denver Jones. That's kind of oof.
It's admittedly hard to poke holes in this Auburn team.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. Byington goes before the game on Monday, says, "Oh, Auburn doesn't have any weaknesses," and then after the game on Tuesday said, "Oh, I said they didn't have any weaknesses, and they didn't have any weaknesses."
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think Auburn it's not a team that you can beat with an off night. If you come into this game with an off night on anything, off night shooting, off night defensively, one way or the other, you're not going to win this game. I think you got to have everything going for you in this matchup. Alabama has to come into this game and continue to shoot like they have the last 4 games, and they have to really step up on the defensive end and not turn the damn ball over.
Let me see if I can pull this Kevin Skarbinski tweet from the other day where he's talking about number 1s versus number 2s. Goodness gracious. I'm pretty sure I hit like on it, but I hit like on so many different things that my likes are all just in a huge mess. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'll just go to Kevin's thing. Kevin Skarbinski. Pretty sure he wrote on the Twitter machine that this is the 7th time 1 versus number 2 has ever happened in the same state, and number 2 has won all 6 beforehand.
Okay. So we got the voodoo on our side.
Yeah, got a little
magic.
Come on. Scarbs. I'm only going to give this 10 more.
The only one I can remember from that list was Memphis, Tennessee. It was just because Bruce Pearl also participated in that game. I don't even remember which one won that game. I think it was Memphis won.
Right here, yes. Auburn number 1 and Alabama number 2 in the AP poll. Saturday's IBOB will be just the 6th, not 7th, the 6th AP 1 versus 2 between teams in the same state ever. Tennessee beats Memphis. Number 2, Tennessee beats Memphis, 2008. That's Bruce Pearl. North Carolina beats Duke in 98. North Carolina beats Duke in 94. Cincinnati beats Ohio State in a national title game in 62. And Cincinnati beats Ohio State in a national title game in 61.
Do we even count those two? Was that even real basketball?
Yeah, of course.
In the 60s?
Of course.
They didn't have a 3-point line, Joe.
That's okay. Pistol Pete was still scoring a butt ton of points.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
Did you see Katie's roll call from last week? Was the anniversary of Pistol Pete's 60-something point game in Coleman Coliseum without a 3-point line?
I mean, the man averaged 50 or something, didn't he?
Insanity.
It's ridiculous.
Insanity. we've done this greatest player of all time kind of talk, and how much I hate that discussion.
It's just
I really hate it.
There's so much nuance to it that people fail to mention.
I really like kind of
Would you say the GOAT table?
Yeah, championship table, GOAT table, and like when I'm talking to my friends, Pistol Pete's there, and people are they give me a lot of hell. He's not a little white guy. I said, brother, he is
go watch some training videos.
He is I'm sorry, and maybe it is like Great White Hope, but like I think he is in the conversation for greatest player ever. Is he better than Michael Jordan? No. Is he better than LeBron? No. Wilt Chamberlain? No. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? No. But like, I think that you can't tell the story of basketball without him, and that's pretty important.
Sure.
All right, we're kind of done for the day, Mason, unless you got anything else on the docket. Let's look at here. BamaCentral.com, our cover today, Will Miller writing about baseball. Will Miller's got like 5 baseball preview pieces out there on BamaCentral.com about pitchers, outfielders, anything you want to know about baseball. Will has got it right there at BamaCentral.com. They are opening up their season tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, yeah, Valentine's Day. What are y'all doing for Valentine's Day? Y'all got any suggestions for what we should do for Valentine's Day? Send some love to the Auburn Tigers.
It's my birthday,
Valentine's Day's your birthday? Oh my gosh. Mason Wood's birthday tomorrow. So look.
Big 26.
Make sure you use the voicemail line 205-462-7340, extension 800, and call and wish Mason Woods a happy birthday. It's so simple. You call the line. There won't be any waiting. I'm not going to stick you on hold. And you can just go, happy birthday, Mason. Hope you have a great day. And in the message right there. And you've made Mason's day. So use the voicemail line to let Mason know how much you're thinking about him tomorrow. 205-462-7340.
Did you see, as the Eagles now have won the Super Bowl, they're doing their media tour, basically hitting all the late night shows, hitting the talk shows and things. Did you see, I think it was the Jimmy Fallon show. They had, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley sitting in the chairs talking, and then he brings out the offensive line to do a shotgun race, basically, with, everybody gets a beer and everybody's going to shotgun one.
Beer?
And you're thinking, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is like the first time I've ever seen Jalen Hurts do anything like this on camera. And what does Jalen Hurts do but immediately crack his beer and pour it on his buddy and then just say, you're not going to get me doing that. I just love Jalen. I love him so much. He is like the most – everything that frustrated me with Jalen Milroe, I love about Jalen Hurts because he always has a little smirk when he does it. He's always feels a little tongue-in-cheek.
He poured it on one of the linemen's head?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to watch that for sure.
Funny. It was pretty good. Yeah, he – this splashes everybody, and he just kind of hits him with like, "You're not gonna give me doing it."
I don't drink beer.
It was pretty good. Very. He's got to keep his image.
Jalen Hurts, clean, perfect image.
I feel like he is. Barry obviously he does that, but I think he also acknowledges that he does that a little bit. Where sometimes, like he did what was it on the SVP show? Oh, you like that, Scott? Oh, you like that? he gets a little fun with it sometimes. And I really like that. Jalen Milroe, take some notes. You just open up a bit.
A little personality is not a problem.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, we're signing out for the day. 8 a.m. again tomorrow. Why are we doing it hard starts? Because we got a phone line that you need to be using, 205-462-7340, extension 800. Look, it's only going to be the first person that calls is going to open up a floodgate. It's going to be like, oh, it actually works. And so that's what I'm counting on. Mason, I hope the people are thinking about me today. I'm training for this half marathon, and you know what my number says for today? 10.
Too much. Too many.
10.
That's too many. Too many of those.
10 miles. I haven't gone 10 miles in so long. It shouldn't be that big of a problem just because we've been working for it. But my baby brain, my poonanny brain is saying, don't do it. My poonanny brain is saying, don't go. It's saying, we just want to stay in the house in the warmth. I don't want to do it. But we will do it. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow after I survive on the Joe Gaither Show. Leave us a voicemail for Friday's show, 205-462-7340, extension 800. This was the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.